What's going on YouTube? Looks like we're live. If you're watching this replay and you are not subscribed to the #1 channel when it comes to building, growing, and scaling your online Amazon business, then you need to hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell, and make sure that you're showing up to these calls because every single week we're dropping brand new content, and every single week we're going live trying to answer your guys' questions, trying to get you unstuck in your business, and trying to help you gain momentum so that you can get to the next level. Our #1 goal here on the channel is to help you increase your income, your impact, and your influence. So, rules for those of you who are new to the channel, and first and foremost, welcome to the channel if you're new to the channel. And if you guys can hear and you can see me all right, go ahead and smash that like button, drop a comment down below and say hi, or I can see you, I can hear you. But the #1 goal for this is pretty much to help you guys wherever you are in your current business, whether that's starting out, figuring things out, growing, scaling, problem solving. So we don't come on this channel on this particular episode with any type of predetermined things that we're going to be teaching or any type of curriculums. We come on here basically to help you. So down below, go ahead and drop your questions, any questions that you have. As you can see, the only dumb question is a question that does not get asked. So anything that you can think of, make sure that you drop that video, drop that question down below. And again, if you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, like I literally give it all away here on the channel. We have 320 plus videos. We invest 6 figures per year in production management to literally bring you guys the best quality, most up-to-date, and most informational information on starting and growing an Amazon business. So with that being said, guys, go ahead and drop your questions, any questions that you have about the business, any way that we can serve you, any way that we can help you, and let's help you guys get to the next level. Also, guys, while I'm waiting on the questions, a few things on the channel in case you haven't seen them that you guys should check out is the 7-figure and 8-figure product series. That's a series that we've done almost like a TV show where we're literally reviewing 7-figure and 8-figure products that are absolutely crushing it. At the AMZ Formula, AMZ Together, we said that you're only one product away. So we're literally in this series reviewing these products, how you find these products, showing how to determine how much money or how much revenue the products are generating, how the products are differentiating from the competition, what are their marketing angles. We're looking at packaging. We're looking at all that stuff. So I challenge you guys, if you're new to the channel or you haven't checked out that episode or those episodes yet, check out the 7- and 8-figure product series. They're super amazing. Cool. Audio and everything's good? Awesome. You can. I don't know what happened. It zoomed out. Cool. Go ahead and bring it up. Hiring a one-to-one Amazon FBA mentor like yourself can be highly beneficial, but experienced mentors come at a cost. Do you suggest starting in communities that are free? So this is a 100% transparent answer, and it may come off as biased because I'm a coach or a consultant and own this company. However, I'm just going to tell you exactly what I do and give you a little bit of context from the lessons that I learned. When I started this business back in 2013, and not the consulting business, not the teaching business, but the actual Amazon private label business, when I was learning about entrepreneurship and building a brand and developing a business from my mentor, I didn't have much money. I didn't have much resources. So I actually did. I learned this on my own. And I learned through different communities, different forums, different websites, watching different videos, and so on and so forth. So do I feel that you can learn a skill set without a consultant or a coach or going through a course or a program or mentorship or any of the above? Absolutely. Here's the issues that I ran into when doing this, and I'm someone who went through it. So I'm not saying that you can't be successful doing it because I made success of it. However, I can tell you this. There's 2 ways to learn anything in this world. It doesn't matter if it's Amazon, it doesn't matter what it is. There's 2 ways that you can learn. You can learn through the experience that you create, and the way that you create experience is through a combination of time, effort, and energy, right? As well as implementing resources into learning the thing. Or you can learn through the experience of others. So here's the difference between the experience of others and the experience that you have to create. experience that you have to create always takes longer, and believe it or not, usually costs more. Now, if there's absolutely no option and you don't have access to the resources, or you can't become resourceful to hire the consultant, the coach, or go through the program, and you have to do it little by little, step by step, that can still work. But for me, I was always prideful and like, hey, I'll figure this thing out. I'm pretty smart. I like learning. I like being hands-on. And I also didn't have a ton of money, right? So I can tell you my first 3 products failed, right? Like my first 3 products failed. I lost tons of money learning PPC and tons of money learning about shipping and how all this stuff worked. Programs and softwares and all this stuff was not as predominant in 2013 to 2015 as it is right now. So I lost a ton of money, learning this stuff and trying to figure things out. Now, fast forward today, I figured things out. We've generated 8 figures plus in online sales. Today, I invest the best, right? And I have an understanding, and again, this is not me trying to sell anything. I really don't care if anybody invests in our programs. My number one goal is to help you guys, right? And offer the most value to the community as possible. However, I can tell you this is what I do, and I can show receipts to back this up. When it comes to a skill set that I want to learn, like speaking or teaching or marketing or any type of skill set, even my personal stuff like in fitness and stuff that's tied to my personal goals, I tried to find who I feel is the best, who I feel comfortable with, and who do I like? Who do I have good vibrations with? Who do I get along with? Who do I believe or feel like I like? And who has results that I want? Or who do I feel is an expert in the industry that I want to become an expert in? So for instance, I'm in Russell Brunson's inner circle. That's $55,000. I have another mentor, Myron Goldman. I'm in his inner circle. That's $55,000. I'm inside of several other masterminds, one of them being the War Room. That's $50,000. So on average per year, I pay a Harvard tuition plus just in personal education for myself. Now, I do feel that I could learn these things myself. However, there's just something about learning from someone who's an expert in that specific field. And here's also the beautiful thing about this. When you're trying to go on the internet and find a bunch of different stuff out, or you're talking to a bunch of different people, you take little pieces from everybody, and then you have to throw them on the table and rearrange them and make the puzzle, figuratively speaking, fit, right? Or make this thing work. As to where when you have a coach or a consultant, or you're in a program and they know what they're doing, they're experts, and they've gotten the results that you desire, they can tell you in chronological order, step by step, what you need to do. And most importantly, because you can get those pieces for free, most importantly, they can see ahead of time mistakes that you may make or shield you from mistakes that you are currently making because they've been there, right? So that's the difference between it. And that was an elongated answer. However, I just want to let you know what my personal opinion is and also what I'm doing, right? My mentor says that the biggest expense in life is what you do not know. And oftentimes, if you understand that your most valuable asset is time, you wouldn't spend your time, which is your most valuable asset. In fact, it's actually priceless because you can't get it back. You can't repurchase it. You can't recreate it. You wouldn't spend unnecessary time if you have access to the capital to invest that will save you time and get you results quicker, which is your desirable outcome. So that's the way I look at things. And you have to look at it the time to money ratio. Ever since BC, which is before Christ, and it doesn't matter if you're religious or not, money has always been used as a tool that you utilize in exchange for things of value. You have housing, you have livestock, you have food, you have things from blacksmiths. It doesn't matter in what society and what year throughout the last 100+ years, money is always, and currency has always been used as a tool in order to get value. So like one thing that I've learned over the last several years, because I'm not perfect and I'm still learning, is like in order to get the thing of value or the desirable outcome, you have to not value money. And a lot of us, and I made this exact mistake, I valued money more than I valued my time. And by holding on to the money and not investing the money to get the desirable outcome, I never got the desirable outcome because I tried to create it myself. So that's just like a few examples and a few things that I learned personally. However, like for those of you who lack resources, like another tip I can give you guys is really become resourceful. For instance, if you want to get started in real estate and you don't have money to flip a house or buy an apartment building, you could wholesale selling contracts with no money until you get enough money to buy your first investment or buy your first flip. You could also create strategic partnerships where you find a partner who has money and you bring the time to the table. Where there's a will, there's a way. So another thing that I can tell you guys is find ways to become resourceful in situations when you find opportunities, because the true secret to success in anything, not just in Amazon, is three things: identifying an opportunity, taking action on an opportunity, and then not giving up on the opportunity. I like to make things very simple, very easy to digest, and most importantly, very easy to implement, because information without implementation lacks results, right? So just think about it like that when you're running through these things. It can be overwhelming when you're thinking about investing money. It can become overwhelming when you're thinking about starting a new business. Lastly, on this topic, I'll tell you this. In order to receive results that you've never gotten in your life, you must do things that you've never done in your life. And understand, regardless of what it is going to have a level of sacrifice and a level of uncertainty, as well as a level of anxiety. I don't call it fear because the definition of fear is false evidence appearing real, or the Wikipedia definition of fear is caution over a real and present danger. You're never in danger when you want to start a business. You just have anxiety, right? So yeah, I mean, that was a deep answer, but hopefully that sheds some light and it offers value to you guys. Can you share about product validation? All the juice, laugh out loud. Yeah, awesome. And by the way, while I'm answering this, go ahead and drop the link up above so everybody, because I see a few questions about working with us and about the process. So while we go through these questions and blitz through these questions, if you guys are interested in starting the business, you guys have questions about the business and the programs we offer and how this process works and how we can serve you or help you, schedule a free call. That way our team can answer all of those questions. They can see where you are, where you want to be, and see if any of our programs, if any, are a good fit for you and they can help serve you, right? That's a free call. There's zero stress, zero pressure. Last thing we want to do is sell something or offer something that's not a good fit for you. That's why I don't offer my stuff publicly. Like, you can't go to websites and see all of our different programs, because we have different programs that fit different people's priorities, objectives, and goals, right? So how does product validation work? So we have two different things. Let's go to the whiteboard, E. We have two different things, right? Product validation. Product validation. So we have what's called product validation, and we have product verification. This is a two-step process in our formula, the AMZ formula, which is what I developed over the last several years. So the way this works is you have product validation and you have product verification, right? So product verification comes first, and then validation comes second, right? So the way this works is what you're doing is you're working on verifying the product. So in this stage, you're focusing on verifying the product with $0, right? Now, when it comes into validation, right, validating the product, this is going to cost some money, right? This is going to cost some money, and it's going to depend on the product amount, the branding, so on and so forth. So in verification, you're looking at things like seasonality, trends, profit margin, and IP. These are just to name a few. So IP is intellectual property. PM is profit margin, trends, of course, and then seasonality. So this is how can I do as much information and how can I do as much digging without spending any money to identify, is this product going to sell? Is this product going to make us money? Does this supplier, make sense? Does this niche make sense? So on and so forth. So we want to do that without spending any money. And the goal with this process, the entire formula, is to how can I do as much digging and do as much due diligence without spending money to verify the product. And then when I launch the product, have a high certainty or a high assumption that the product is going to win, right? So if you think about, and the way I came up with this to give you my framework is I reverse engineered it. So if this is your goal, right? This is the big goal, whatever this is in your life. The easiest way to come up with a plan of action or a POA to accomplish your goal is to do what's called backtrack, right? So when you backtrack, what is step one? What is step two? All the way to your goal. So when I look at the goal, which the goal is launching a successful product or Amazon business, and you reverse engineer it, what are all the ways that you could fail? If you can solve that equation, then you can reduce your exposure to risk. So when we backtrack the goal of a successful product or a successful Amazon business, we look at things like, okay, the product must sell every single day. If it doesn't sell every single day, then it's not going to be what's called sustainable in investment terminology. So that's where seasonality comes into play. So when we look at seasonality, we can cross that off. How do we determine seasonality of a product or a category or a subject? We utilize different tools, and many of them are free, like Google Trends. Google Trends is going to give you historical data based on geographic and demographics based off of time periods, right? Google's the largest search engine. They have the most amount of data. Next, trends. Why are we looking at trends? Well, if a product is trending, then it doesn't have what's called proof of concept, right? And it doesn't have what's called depth of market. What is proof of concept and what is depth of market? These are two very important terms that you need to understand. Proof of concept means that it's proved to the marketplace that there is demand for it and it will sell. Depth of market means that it has been selling for a historical period. So if we go to Google Trends and we type in any product, it doesn't matter, like yoga mat, for instance, how do we know if it has depth of market? Well, has it been selling? And how long has it been selling for? How do we know if it has proof of concept? It has historical data, which is in the past, and we can look at that data and make an educated decision that it's going to continue to sell. So boom, trend, we knocked that off. Profit margin. The most important thing is not the product, it's the profits. Like, so many people let their emotions decide for them, and then this thing doesn't work out. You have to set your emotion aside and make data-driven decisions. So an emotion or an unrational decision in this process would be, I love fitness, I want to start a supplement company. I love beauty, I want to start a beauty company. That is not the most profitable and the most intelligent way to make decisions when it comes to starting and launching an online Amazon business. You should be doing research to identify all of these different things: seasonality, trends, profit margin, intellectual property. So when we're looking at profit margins, and I'll give you an example here, profit margins is how much we're going to net. So when you see a big grand number, that's gross, which means it does not have expenses deducted. When you look at net, net is the big number subtracted from all the expenses and what's left that you actually keep, right? So when we look at profit margins, for example, if you're selling a product for $20, okay, and your product cost or cost of goods, your product shipping or cost of goods shipped, and your marketing is costing you, let's just say $10 to keep numbers round, right? If that's costing you $10, we would subtract the two and be left with $10. Well, you're looking at, if you subtract that and you look at it, you're looking at 50% profit margins, right? Well, 30% would be $60, right? So if you're making 30% profit margins on $20, 30% would be $6, right? 15% would be $3, right? So you can look at it and you can come up with these different mathematical equations. So if you're selling a product gross for $20, and after everything's said and done, you're making $10, you can just reverse engineer it and come up with your profit margin. You want to make sure that the profit margin makes sense. So if you want to be at 30% or more, you want to make $6 or more, right? You want to make $6 or more per product. Profit margin is important because if you have a thin profit margin, then you have thin opportunity for growth, right? For reordering, for changing your product down the road, for additional marketing. And I'll give you one piece of advice that my mentor told me is essentially the easiest way to look at beating everybody in sales, in marketing, and in businesses. Whoever can spend the most to acquire a customer will always win. So whatever company, it does not matter the niche, the category, the product, the service, whoever can spend the most on customer acquisition or acquiring that customer will win. It is that simple. Have a good product, validate the product, go all in on the product design, the fulfillment, the services, so on and so forth, and then identify how can I spend more than everybody else to acquire a customer? Because what's going to happen is those who you're competing with who are not in the same field or level of understanding are going to hit a threshold for profitability. See, a lot of people on Amazon, they run into the ceiling, right? Let's go ahead and I'll give you an illustration on this. They run into a ceiling. So what happens is new sellers come in, right? And everybody's right here. Everybody's selling their product right here. New sellers come in and they lower their price for a competitive advantage, right? And then another seller comes in and they lower their price a little bit more, right? See the difference between these two? They lower their price a little bit more. Then another seller comes in and they got to beat both of these guys, right? So what do? They lower their price even more. And then this guy comes in, he's the big guy with a ton of money, ton of capital, ton of experience. He's like, you know what? I'm just going to slaughter everybody and I'm going to come in way down here. And then you know what? I'm also going to add more products, right? And then what happens? This is an infinite loop of racing to the bottom. This is not where you want to be. This is traditional e-commerce. This is traditional retail. And this is why so many people don't make it in traditional brick and mortar. This is why so many people fail on Amazon. This is what you do not want to do. Now, let me share with you how I literally capitalize on the marketplace, avoid the competition, charge more than a majority of my sellers, profit more, and not deal with competition. Peter Thiel, the co-founder of PayPal, said, and I used to keep this on my office, in my first office when we had 50 employees, several thousand square foot in my little cubicle when I was building out this 8-figure e-commerce brand. Peter Thiel said something that was ingenious during an interview when he was building PayPal with Elon Musk, both now billionaires. Peter Thiel said when they were questioned, how did you build PayPal and how did you differentiate from all the other payment processors? All PayPal was a payment processor. What makes you different? And what he said was very intelligent, and it was actually ingenious. He said, in order to avoid the competition, you have to escape the competition. We're not worried about competition because there is no competition. So then he followed to say, control the space, dominate the sector, and avoid the competition. So be thinking about your brand. When you're in brand development and you're doing all these things, okay, I've got the seasonality down. I know it's going to sell. I know it's not trending. I know it has brand depth. I know it has depth of market. Okay, the profit margins are there, right? Profit margins are there. I'm making money. What is intellectual property? Intellectual property is not selling something that already exists, not putting someone's logo on there that already has a trademark, or not putting a copyrighted slogan on there. Once you cross all of these boxes, then you go into the validation, which is when you bring it to the marketplace to test it. When you bring it to the marketplace and test it, if you use this strategy right here, which is the racing to the bottom, the bloodbath strategy, it is a short-term, single-focus, non-long-term goal. This is what everybody does. I cannot tell you the amount of businesses that I consult and the amount of businesses and brands that we help develop where their number one thing is like, okay, well, the number one seller is selling it at $19.99. He's selling all these units. Let's sell it at $18. That's not what you want to do, right? Apple is 200%, 300% more than brands like Acer, brands like Dell, brands like Toshiba. Yet we all buy the same Apple iPhone every single year. We all have Apple computers. We all have iPads. Why? Why can Apple charge more for products and still become dominant? It's the structure that I'm going to share with you right now that Peter Thiel, Elon Musk's partner, co-founder of PayPal, stated. Dominate the space, control the sector, escape the competition. So now, while everybody's racing to the bottom, here, I'm charging up here. So how can I charge up here when everybody's down here in reference to price, right? How can we be here when everybody is here? Very simple, right? Very, very simple. Let me explain. Whoops. What's going on here? Oh, the iPad doesn't want you guys to get the smoke. Let me see. iPad's like, no, man, this is in your $15,000 programs. What are you doing here? Let's talk some fluff like everybody on YouTube, right? I don't know, man. This stuff's not working, man. I need to see the chat going crazy if you guys want me to give you this framework because I charge a lot of money for this stuff. Let's see. Oh, it's working. I need to see the likes going crazy. I need to see a bunch of I'm subscribed down below. I need to see a bunch of keep going down below. I need to see the likes on this channel going crazy if you guys want this. This is what you don't want to do. Uh-oh. What's going on here? I don't know, E. I don't think they want me to give it to them. I don't think they want me to give it to them, bro. Let's try that one more time. All right, there we go. This is what you don't want to do. You don't want to compete on price. You don't want to compete on unit quantity. You don't want to compete on price. You don't want to compete on unit quantity. What you want to compete with is quality. What you want to compete with is IP, intellectual property. How can you improve the product? What functions and features can you offer that the competition does not? This is where everybody messes up right here, and this is where everybody wins. So just focusing on those two things, quality and intellectual property, quality and features, makes price absent. See, here's the thing. Everybody thinks in buyer psychology that people want to save money and they want a deal. People actually don't want to save money and they don't want to save a deal. How many times have you not bought something that you were going to buy because it was the cheapest and you immediately thought that it was not the best? Probably all of you guys. Go ahead and down below and say, I have. Here's the thing. I don't buy the cheapest. You know why I don't buy the cheapest? Because the cheapest is not the best and the best is not the cheapest. So why would we start a business and why would we race down to the bottom with everybody else in price to try to sell more products? Instead, WWAD, that's an acronym that I teach in the AMZ formula. What would Apple do? Apple came and said, okay, Acer, Dell, Toshiba, what's some other ones? Samsung, all these guys are racing to the bottom. Let's go ahead and double or triple our price and focus on these two things, quality and IP. And if you want to go an extra layer, you can go with service. You can go with packaging. These are two bonuses. However, if you focus on quality and intellectual property, price is not an issue. Why? Because price is only an issue when value is absent. My son has a $200 Chromebook. I have a $5,000 MacBook. How much do you spend on your MacBook? $3,500? Could you search the internet on that computer the same as you could on a Chromebook? Why did you pay an extra $3,500 for that computer? The ecosystem, the apps. Is the quality of the shell better? Ease of use. How's the packaging? How do you feel using it? Have you ever contacted support? How's support? There you go. Support A+, packaging superior, intellectual property. He said the ecosystem, right? All of the apps that come preloaded on this computer. Guys, we're not talking about 10x. We're not talking about 20x. We're talking about almost 30x. I have a $5,000 Apple computer. My son has a $200 Chromebook. I paid 30x the difference. There is no competition. Apple's a $1 trillion company. Acer is not. Samsung is not. Toshiba is not. They're focusing on the low-end consumer, and they're fighting to the bottom with price. Therefore, what is sacrifice? When you focus on price and quantity, all of this is sacrificed. When you sacrifice all of those things, you now become inferior. There's no way that you can compete with someone of high level value like Apple when you're racing to the bottom and your packaging sucks, your customer service sucks, your ecosystem sucks. There's no intellectual property. There's nothing unique. It's the same thing with a different logo, different color. It's the same thing and you offer more of it. It's the same thing and it's cheaper. So think about these things when you're structuring your business. This is not what you want to do. You do not want to race down to the bottom. So when it comes to product validation and product verification, once you go through the verification, all of this is free. When you find products utilizing the software, by the way, if you need the software, we have access to the software where you can get access to a software to find these products at a discount, and our team will drop that down below. If you need the software, get the software. But between the software and using this framework, you can do enough predetermined data analysis, enough data-driven decision-making to the point where you actually go into the validation stage, which is stage 2, that it's a sure shot. And if it's not a sure shot, you break even or you profit a little bit and you move to the next one. The reason why people fail is because they don't take their time in the first stage. And then when they get past the first stage and go into the verification stage, or excuse me, the validation stage, they're right here in this bloodbath. And there's people with more marketing experience, more marketing budget, more money, more quantity, lower price, and you cannot win. So how can you win? by escaping the competition. How can you conflict? How can you fight the competition? It's easier to sometimes, in The Art of War by Sun Tzu, which is an ancient book on the actual art of war, the name of the book, it states it is oftentimes better to run away than it is to fight. The United States of America in Vietnam, I don't know the date, but lost the War of Vietnam. Do you know why we lost the War of Vietnam? Because the United States was offensive and the Vietnamese was defensive. The Vietnamese hid and they ran, and the United States attacked and forced, and that's why we lost. In The Art of War, Sun Tzu states that oftentimes it's better to run than it is to fight. So why are you trying to fight to the bottom in pricing, and why are you trying to fight to the bottom in quantity limits when you're trying to escape the competition, which means you can charge what you want and make more money? WWAD. I would write that down. What would Apple do? Every single time you're thinking about brand development, business structure, business mechanics, marketing strategy, do not reinvent the wheel. Here's the wheel of success, and then here's people trying to figure it out. Why would you do this? Like, why would you try to figure something out when Apple's already done it? Apple's $1 trillion company. Amazon's $1 trillion company. There are plenty of $1 trillion companies and a whole lot of $1 billion companies where if you just took the amount of time that you were trying to put into developing something new, the next best thing, the next greatest thing, if you put all that effort into really sitting back and learning step by step what they're doing, reading the documentaries. Steve Jobs has a documentary, he tells you everything, right? If you did that, you'd be much more successful. So again, like, I'm not saying this to make you guys feel like I'm the smartest person ever or I'm like the best guru of Amazon, blah, blah, blah. I do an extensive amount of research. I do an extensive amount of reading, and I spend a small fortune. At the end of this year or next year, I'll probably be 7 figures in on personal development. Why? Because I am priceless. And if you want to become happy, you have to understand that it comes from health, wealth, and happiness. Health, wealth, and happiness. Health, wealth, and happiness. For those of you who are doing this because you want to make money, once you make the money, what's next? So the reason why I choose to learn, the reason why I choose to keep educating, the reason why I choose to keep spending money on my personal development and on my family is because I understand that true happiness comes from you becoming the best version of yourself. And if you understand that you'll die trying to become the best version of yourself and that every single day and every single way you have to choose to become better, you'll start now. You'll start now. Cool, let's go next question. Let's sample that whole lecture. That's like a 10, 15-minute lecture right there. That was fire. What's our next question? By the way, guys, if you're interested in starting your online Amazon business, you have a business, you want to take it to the next level, you have any questions about getting started whatsoever, make sure that you go and schedule a call. There's absolutely no risk, absolutely no pressure. Go to www.callwithjoshua.com. Is that right? It's callwithjoshua.com? www.callwithjoshua.com. There's a delay. Is this lagging or what's going on? Are we hardwired? Oh, it's one product away call. I'm sorry, I just lied to you guys. www.thenumber1productawaycall.com. Go ahead and leave that up for a minute. www.thenumber1productawaycall.com. Is Jungle Scout better than Helium 10 and how? So BT, Jungle Scout and Helium 10 are like the two largest like softwares that exist. It's almost like saying, is Microsoft better than Apple, right? They're the two largest companies that exist. They both have unique things. They're both very well. I've used Jungle Scout forever because it was the oldest. However, I'm now partners with Helium 10, and we're updating the program, and we will have training in our program for Helium 10 and Jungle Scout because there's things that I like about both of them. Some people choose to use both of them. Some people prioritize or gravitate towards using one of them. However, they're both very, very good. Me personally, if I was to start over or start from scratch, I would use both, even for if it's just a couple months and then cancel. There's benefits to using both, right? So I wouldn't say one is better than the other. I just started selling a product and got a 5-star review. After a few days, it was taken away. Why would that be? There's multiple variables. I mean, the consumer could have retracted it. It could have been you doing a review strategy that was against Amazon's TOS and they took it away. It could be that a consumer or another competitor reported it and Amazon internally manually reviewed it, and they removed it. There's tons of variables, and without a lot of context, I can't really give you an exact answer. However, I will hit on this because this is a very important thing. If you're trying to get reviews, we have a review video on here, right? Fire one we just did on YouTube. Yeah, go check out the review video that we launched that's on YouTube. I break all of it down. The importance of reviews, how to get reviews, a review structure, Amazon's terms of service or TOS around review accumulation, what to do, what not to do, so on and so forth. And essentially, you have to understand, Amazon cares about its consumers more than anybody. So Amazon is trying to combat fictitious reviews, incentivized reviews, non-intentional reviews, and also slander, defamation, like competitors being malicious with reviews to hinder or to reduce sales. Like there's both sides of the spectrum, right? You have the you have the black hat sellers that are like being like horrible human beings trying to like ruin their competition. And then you have people that are just not trained or don't have experience with the business and aren't competent in Amazon's terms of service, which is growing every single day, who are going out there trying to get non-conventional reviews or get reviews and attract reviews in a non-conventional way without the competence of how to do so. So it can be a few different things. But reviews are very, very important because nobody wants to be first. Nobody wants to be last. And what's more important than price is social proof. Chances are, if you were to really think about it and looking at your buying psychology or your buying behavior on Amazon, chances are you've paid more for things that had higher reviews than things that were cheaper with less than reviews. Why? Because of the overwhelming social proof. So that's one of the things that we try to focus on, and it is getting more difficult because Amazon wants legitimate businesses, they want legitimate strategies, and most importantly, they want legitimate reviews. So the key is to attract the audience that prefer quality over quantity. Yeah, Marco, so the way you eliminate yourself from competing with everybody else, because here's the thing, people are like, I get this question all the time, well, Josh, how can I go find a product and launch a product and there's hundreds of people selling it, right? And it's like the way you do that is escaping the competition. Of course, you could run the play where you offer an extra unit and you cut the price down. However, the easier it is to do and the less barrier to entry there is for that strategy, the more people that will do it. So when I drew up that illustration, like it's a never-ending cycle because everybody who does this business on their own or everybody who doesn't have, 7+ years experience or who has built $1 million business or has, consulting with top companies like I do, like they don't understand this and they go in here and it's logical. I did it, right? That's something I did. When I got started, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to find something that sells. I'm going to make it a little bit different and then I'm going to undercut them on price and I have to sell more. That is a logical explanation. That is a logical theory. However, it's not a practical, long-term, sustainable one from someone who has experience in this industry. I wouldn't recommend that you do that. I'd rather recommend that you put extra and additional resources, meaning time, effort, energy, and money, into developing a product that has high barrier to entry. What does that mean? Do you know how difficult, do you know how many years in advance Apple is in technology and sophistication than all of its competition? Think about it. They're so much more sophisticated, so much more advanced. Like they're light years ahead of everybody else. And that's why they're able to crush it. And you got to think about it like that. How can I differentiate? Because if not, the only legitimate way that you can compete is with price or quantity, right? Price or quantity. Think about it like this. And this is a perfect example. I'm shopping around. So I just redid all the flooring in my home. Okay. Almost 4,000 square foot of flooring. So like I literally went from Home Depot to Lowe's to Menards to Flooring Decor. That's 4 different places. And I compared prices with all 4 different places. Why was I not sold on Home Depot? Because there's nothing proprietary and the other 3 stores sell the same exact thing. So what sticks out? How do I choose the store? I choose based off of price. Why? Because the more I buy, the more I'll save. The more I buy, the more I can get. there's no intellectual property. There's nothing unique. There's nothing different, right? Now, imagine they all have the same delivery. They all have the same shipping. They all have everything. Now, imagine all 4 companies have the same price, okay? The same exact price. However, one of them offers free delivery and the other ones don't. This is a $100 service that could get them a $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 order. I think I paid like $8,000 in materials, right? So all 4 stores sell the same product at the same price. By them, and by the way, delivery was $100. This is a joke, okay? This is a lesson on marketing. If one of these stores had free shipping, I would have went with that store. Instead, how did I choose which store I went with? Whichever one had the availability. So think about it like that. What can you do that is different? How can you add value? How can you differentiate? How can you escape the competition? These are questions. These are methodologies. This is a framework that you have to follow. All right, I lied to you guys. So that fire, my team just told me that fire video on reviews is a part of the AMZ Formula Remastered. So those of you guys in the AMZ Formula Max, Inner Circle, any of the programs, you guys will be getting that. By the way, any of you guys who are in the program or looking to get in the program, this is not anywhere else visibly. You can't see this. I just got done recording and it just got done getting edited. Mindset Mastery. So a lot of you guys are like, talk about motivation, talk about this, teach this. The motivation that I've learned and the lessons that I've learned, the frameworks that I've developed are for years of becoming a multi-8-figure entrepreneur and spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on training. I'm not a motivational speaker. I don't like speaking motivationally. I just understand that it's the importance and I understand the importance of it and how it's necessary. It's mandatory in order for you to become successful. So what I did is I created a course called Mindset Mastery. And for everybody who's in TAF Max or the AMZ Formula Max or Inner Circle, you guys get that for free. On top of that, everybody in Max and Inner Circle is getting our children's curriculum. So if you guys know anything about me, I have 2 children, an 8 and a 10-year-old. So I compiled some of my best trainings, my best philosophies and teachings, and we had a team, literally a cartoonist, a voiceover, an animationist, like this whole team that our team put together to take all of these lessons and put them into a children's course. So not only will you guys get Mindset Mastery, but you guys are also going to get the AMZ Formula Kids, which is a curriculum for kids from 5 to 13. So if you guys have a kid or a grandchildren or something like that, niece, nephews, you want to build this business with them. You want them to start learning about business and e-commerce and what credit is and basic financial literacy. You guys are getting that as well. I'll never sell either of these. It's just a way that like my token of appreciation, a way that we can make this and keep this the #1 program in the world for those who want to start, build, and grow an Amazon business. So for those of you who are in the program, that's going to be awesome. For those of you guys who are not, all you got to do if you have questions about it is schedule a call, www.number1productawaycall.com. And our team would love to answer any questions that you guys have. More quality, better packaging costs more. Where can I place micro launch here? Should I be okay to spend more even on the micro launch strategy or stage? Thanks. Yeah, so here's the thing. When you're doing the micro launch strategy, the whole secret sauce to my micro launch strategy, which is my proprietary launch system to launch products and reduce or minimize your loss and maximize your profits, the magic sauce is not spinning unnecessarily, right? So if I'm looking at doing a micro launch and I have product packaging A, which is what I really like, and let's just say it's $1, and packaging B is like the super cheap poly bag tape, super generic OEM, and it's 65 cents, is that 35-cent difference on 300 units, which is like $180, really going to make that big of a difference? The answer is no. Now, if I want to make like this like custom indentation of my logo on this packaging and it requires a die lot and a special piece that I have to order, and it's like $2,000 for the liquid injection mold and like another $1,500 for the CAD drawing, and then it takes like an extra 6 weeks to get the materials. Is it worth it in a micro launch to do that? No. So there's no cookie cutter answer for the micro launch and how to do the micro launch effectively. It's just Minimalize unnecessary spending. The whole key is speed. Success loves speed. So how can you be efficient? How can you be effective? How can you keep costs down, but necessary? It is unnecessary to save a few pennies on packaging, which will increase your sales. It is unnecessary spending. It is unnecessary to spend a ton of money on something that's unnoticeable, like product design, right? So think about it like that, and just do your due diligence and just use good decision-making skills. When is the best time to start an LLC? Before or after you order your first product? Thanks, Josh. So here's the thing. There's what's called seasoning with LLCs, and it's good to have a seasoned LLC. So if you're starting and you have an LLC that you never used, use that. If you don't, get an LLC as soon as possible if you have the resources, because while you're figuring this thing out, while you're going through the course, while you're doing product research, while you're doing whatever you're doing, saving more money, so on and so forth, your LLC is seasoning. Once you acquire your LLC and your LLC is seasoning, go ahead and get your business bank account, right? You can put $100 in there. Once you do that, your business account is actually seasoning. Then what you can do is take it a step further, and you can go apply for a business credit card with all your financial institutions that you already bank at, or have personal credit cards. Now what are you doing? You have a seasoned LLC, you have a seasoned registered business, which is increasing in time every single day, and then you have your business credit, which is increasing or seasoning. By having all three of these in the future, you're going to be able to utilize OPM, which is other people's money, right? Utilizing OPM is how you scale exponentially without utilizing your own resources. Hence, if you lack resources, become resourceful. The rich, the wise, the wealthy, the most successful people on this earth do not utilize their own money. This is how it works. The middle class and below work very hard exchanging their time for money, hoard all of their money in a bank, get 0.001% return on their bank. The rich, the wise, the wealthy come and take all of the hard-earned money from the poor and middle class, and they flip it 3 times, 5 times, 10 times, 15 times, 100 times, get free money, and the free money buys stuff like this that the middle class and the lower class will never be able to fathom how to afford. And that's me being very brutally honest. For example, and again, if I ever teach anything or give you an example, it's not theory, it's fact. Literally, I would say 2-3 hours ago, before I got on this live, I have a multi-million-dollar portfolio I'm refinancing, a real estate portfolio. I'm actually merging an acquisition and a refinance together. And for instance, I'm getting the value, I'm getting the assets that I want to acquire that I'm rolling into this loan like big time undervalued. So much undervalued that the underwriters, because it's a merger of acquisition and a refinance together, they don't want to give me LTV, which is loan to value, on the appraisals. They want to give it to me on the acquisition. So without going down the rabbit hole, I was going to have around like $200,000 locked up, because if I'm buying it below market price and it's worth up here on appraisal value without doing anything, and they're giving me 75% LTV on the acquisition, not the appraisal, I'm going to have money locked in. I want 70%, 75% on the appraisal, because if I acquire it less than 25% below the top, what does that mean? I'm going to get all of my money back plus get the properties for free. That's the goal. So I couldn't do that way. I picked up the phone. I made one phone call. I talked to a hard money lender. Hard money lender says put 10% down and the debt's going to be 10%. After 90 days, the product is seasoned. We can refinance at your appraisal. What does that mean? After the 90 days of the property is becoming seasoned, right? Now I can get them at 75% LTV or loan to value on the appraised prices, which are significantly higher than the acquisition costs. So when I do that, after the 90-day period, I pay back 10%, right, annualized to this lender, and then I've like cash flowed while paying the debt every single month, get the money back, refinance it at 75% of the appraisal. The appraisals are going to come significantly higher than the acquisition. I'm going to get free money. I'm going to get free properties at cash flow for the rest of our family's lives. And now I have all of my money back. That's leverage. And the rich, the wise, the wealthy, and the successful leverage money. I keep telling you guys, and I'll keep saying it forever, money is a tool. Money is useless unless you use it. And I need you to say it down below in the comments in order to see it, because you have to see it before you see it so that you can seize it. If you have goals, if you have ambitions, if you have dreams, if you have things that you want, and you're not constantly visualizing them, it's going to be near impossible for you to believe them or for you to achieve them. And this is not my theory. This isn't motivation. This isn't religion. This is science, right? You have several components of your brain that communicate with your heart, right? And the way this works is you have a reticular activating system, which is a small component in the back of your brain. Have you ever noticed when you're looking at something or you become interested in something, you start to see them more frequently? That's because your reticular activating system is communicating with your subconscious mind, which forwards and processes thoughts, emotions, and visions to your conscious mind. And then you say, oh, wow, I'm seeing this a lot more frequently. So if you think that holding on to your money is keeping you safe and that, it's safe and it's earning interest and this and that, but you have large dreams, large goals, large ambitions, and you don't genuinely believe that money is a tool that was created for you to create exponential wealth for you and your family, it's not going to happen. So I need you to write down below, money is useless unless you use it. And I do this practice with my team all the time because it sounds ridiculous. But you know what's ridiculous? The lie that society tells us that we have to work hard for 50 years to retire on 40% of what we weren't happy living on. That's ridiculous. I do this exercise with my team all the time. I show them my personal account. I log into my phone. I show my team my personal account. And I try to make a bet with them. I said, I have a $50,000 Rolex here. I'll trade you this $50,000 Rolex for $500. I lose the bet, you get a $50,000 Rolex. I win the bet, you give me $500. Here's the caveat. In order for me to win, you have to have more money in your account than me, in your checkings account, in your savings account. And now they know better, so they won't do the bet with me. You know why? Because I keep a couple $100s in a savings account. You know why? Because a dollar that's not moving is a dollar that's losing. Chances are you guys know that we're in a recession, we're in a depression. Interest rates are high. The value of the dollar is going down. Go to www.usworldclock.net. Every single second, the U.S. is trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. Our money's not worth anything, right? So why would I hoard on to something that's useless? It does not make sense. And these are the things that a lot of these people on YouTube and on the social media are not going to share with you. In fact, no one in my family knew this. No one in my family shared this with me. I was hoarding my money. I was exchanging my hard-earned, like my time that I will never get back, that once it's gone, for money. And I told my team something earlier that hit them pretty hard. I could see the expression on their face that the harder you work, the less you make. I need you guys to understand, I've made $15,000 in a year. I've made $100,000 in a year. I've made $1 million in a year. I've made $1 million in a month, and I've made $1 million in a day. Which do you think was most difficult? It wasn't the $1 million in a day, which is the highest amount of return. The harder you work is not in correlation to the more that you'll make. And that's a misconception that we have. That's why I still teach this business, because I love this business and I'm passionate about this business because this business changed my life. I vividly remember hand sorting through trash in Finitech for minimum wage overnight, hating my life and getting paid barely enough to survive. Them going out of business, me meeting my mentor teaching me what I learned, me taking action, investing all of my money, learning this skill set, and then me blowing my mentor's business up so big to the fact that he moved into the place where I dreaded working and I made my first $1 million. So your current situation is not your final destination. You have the pen, you have the pencil, the paper is in front of you. You have to write it. But you have to start. By the way, guys, we have the link down below. If you guys are ready to start, whether you have an existing business, whether you want to learn this business, whether you just want to see what we have to offer and how we can help you start a business, whether it's us building a business for you, literally building an Amazon business for you that's going to cash flow for you, or it's us helping you with brand development, or it's us teaching you everything that I know, interactive live coaching, access to all of the curriculums, all of the templates, all of the teachings, our team in China. Regardless of what your goal is with this business, if you feel that this is a business for you, if you're ready to take the leap of faith and have your money work for you so you don't have to work so hard for it, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Go ahead and go to www.productawaycall.com. Schedule a free call with our team. It's literally that simple. We'll take a couple more. Let's take 2 or 3 more. By the way, guys, if you're subscribed to the channel down below, drop a I'm subbed. And also on a scale of 1 to 10, let us know, what do you think about these? Are these valuable? Do you enjoy them? Do you look forward to them? down below in the chat, let us know what your thoughts are about the call. How do you combat bad reviews? So the easiest way to combat a bad review, and this may seem like common sense, is just to have a fantastic product, number one. Number two, all reviews, you can go ahead and respond to them. So if you get a negative review, you can respond to them and you can try to amicably resolve it. I will tell you this. If you have a bad review that you cannot resolve, that is stuck, like it's sticking, it is better for you to have a super long response as the seller as to how you tried to make things right, as how you tried to refund them, you tried to replace the product, you tried this, you did this, and be very detail-oriented and very apologetic in that response to that bad review, because this is what's going to happen. A prospect wants to buy your stuff, they're doing due diligence, they see the negative review, and then they see your response. They're like, oh, this person was just probably a horrible human being, or things probably just didn't go their way, right? How many of you guys down below say yes, have actually wanted to buy something, you've seen a bad review, and then you've seen an amazing response from the seller, and you're like, this person's just a bad human. This person's just unreasonable, right? Cool. I got like 3, and it's the only one there, and now my PPC cost is sky high. I started getting 1 per day, and then those reviews hit, no sales in sight. So like one of the main rules, you don't want to start PPC until you have at least 5 to 15 reviews. The more, the better, number one. Number two, there's like, in our program, we go through this in great depth. And it's like just going back to the question earlier, you cannot Google this. You're not going to be able to Google or go on YouTube and find the exact like review structure that I should have in my private label business. You're going to get a bunch of fluff. They're going to give you top 5 ways to get reviews, which is this over like fluff oriented, like quick 10-second answers. There is a large, meticulous like way of getting reviews and the review structure and the terms of service and everything that goes into this. And I'll just give you a few of the variables off the top of my head. Number one, you can't have the same last name. Number two, you can't have an Amazon seller give you a review. Number three, you can't have an overwhelming amount of reviews from the same city if you don't have a physical location store in that city. Number four, you can't get a review from the same device or IP address. And I'll give you one more. And there's literally like 100 of these that our team go through when we're helping our clients. What's another one? Oh, number 5 is they can't, it can't be an inconsistent buying behavior. So if like I'm buying like jelly rolls and like socks and underwear, and I go buy like a hammock and like I have never bought anything of any sort, and then I just write the best review that I've ever written in my life, Amazon's gonna be like, okay, like it doesn't make any sense, right? And then they can reach out to the seller, so on and so forth. They can reach out to the buyer. And there's this long list of all these things. And Amazon doesn't tell you all of the variables into their algorithm for reviews sticking or reviews not making it. You just have to have that industry experience, right? And through testing, you know, over the years and hundreds of products we launched, and, you know, our accounts and our products having tens of thousands of reviews, we kind of seen what works and what doesn't work. When are we getting the remastered and formula? So if you're inside the AMZ formula, the remastered videos will be up in the next 30 days. If you're inside of the AMZ formula Max or inside of Inner Circle, you will be getting access to the children's curriculum, which is the kids formula. You will also get access to Mindset Mastery, which is my my top frameworks, strategies, and belief systems for becoming exponentially successful at anything in your life in less time. You'll get that entire framework, that entire program, and all of that will be uploaded with the AMZ formula remastered within the next 30 days. And there's a bunch of awesome stuff that I've just done that we don't advertise. Like for those of you that speak more than one language, the AMZ formula is now in English, it's in Spanish, and we're working on 3 other languages, right? So we will be the #1 program in the most amount of languages in the world that I know of, at least. Another thing is we are the only program that offers full, not transcription. What is it called? The sign language. Not transcription. Yeah, translation, right? Yeah, so we're the only program in the world that I know of, again, that has full translation of somebody doing sign language. So like if you have a relative or someone who needs that, we offer that. So something that we're doing, and a little context about me, again, I care about this and I care about our clients. Every single year, like people always ask, like, what's the difference between your stuff? like just one of the very many things is, number one, every single year I redo the program. Not because I need to. I would say about 70% of the fundamentals of this business stays the same. So I really don't need to. But every single year I challenge myself because I get better as a speaker. I get better as an educator. And we invest tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars in equipment. Like we're in a, what is this, 1,500 square foot, 2-story studio. We have state-of-the-art equipment. So every single year, and if you've been in the AMZ formula since 2017 when it first originated, you've seen it on Teachable, and it was at my desk in my townhome when I made my first $3 million in 1 year. Then you've seen it, you know, at the Level Up when at my new home, and then you've seen it at my office, and then now you're going to see the remastered in my studio. So every single year we update it. I mean, we try to make it better, and our number one focus is how can we help clients get more success? How can we make this process easier to learn? And most importantly, how can we update you guys with everything that is up to date? Because the other 30% is things changing. Like there's dash buttons. And what's some of the other stuff that we recorded today? We have dash buttons. We have Opportunity Finder. Like Amazon literally just rolled out a beta for a software like Helium 10 and Jungle Scout within Amazon. Do you know what this means? These softwares have algorithms and APIs that are trying to extract data and trying to formulate assumptions and estimates. With this new software and this new tool within Amazon, you can get direct data direct from consumers, buying behavior, statistics, actual conversion rates. It's absolutely insane. So whenever they're enrolling stuff like that, we have accounts with Amazon. We have an account rep within Amazon. And because my account is now aged almost a decade, I get access to beta on everything, right? I've been a brand registered company, trademarked brand registered company with Amazon for going on 10 years that I've sold millions of dollars through. I sold on Amazon when it was Vendor Express. So before Seller Central was Vendor Express. So if you scroll all the way down on my Instagram, you scroll all the way down on my YouTube, you'll see back in 2016, 2017, 2015, Vendor Express. I made 7 figures when Amazon Seller Central didn't even exist, right? So we get access to things ahead of time, and we just always want to make sure everything's up to date and we can serve you guys at the highest level. Cool. Yeah, so if you're just in the AMZ formula, you will get the remastered edition, which is all the up-to-date videos. You just don't get access to Mindset Mastery or the children's course, right? And again, guys, something that we do that nobody else does is if you're in the AMZ formula and you want to upgrade to Max, where you get weekly coaching calls with our most successful client, which has done over $1 million in the store. You get access to our general questions coach with a coach that's worked with me for years, worked in my warehouses, who's actually my director of operations. And you want to get access to our third coach, which is Luke, which is head of product development and PPC. You get weekly coaches with all of them, plus you unlock access to Mindset Mastery as well as the children's curriculum. What we do that nobody else does is we always take your investment and we prorate it into upgrading. So something we're never going to do that a lot of people do is we will never penalize you for wanting to upgrade. If you came in the AMZ formula because that's all the resources you had, or because you didn't know if you wanted to go all in and you want to upgrade to Max, or if you're in Max and you want to upgrade to Inner Circle, or you want to go from Inner Circle to, you know, the business development part of things and AMZ together, we're always going to work with you to help honor your investment to make things easier for you. So that's something that we believe in and that we do as well. Cool. Last question. Hi, how can you make bundle if you can do, you need separate ACN? You get that one? I really don't get that one. You need a separate ACN to make bundle. ACN, what is an ACN? UPC? Oh, ASIN. Oh, ASIN. Okay. Okay, cool. So this is the way it works. You have what's called a parent ASIN. So let's say this is my parent ASIN. This is my listing tied to this ASIN. It has its own UPC, its own ASIN, right? Then I want to have a child ASIN where I can sell a 3-pack, a 6-pack, and a 12. All of those would have different SKUs, but they'd be tied under one listing. Now, if you want to bundle products where, let's just say, I don't have like anything that go together, but let's just say this is the product and I want to bundle this product, I would find a supplier to make this product. I would find a supplier to make this product if this supplier doesn't make the product. I would have this product supplier ship this product to the main product supplier. And then I would have that product supplier package everything together and then package it and ship it directly to Amazon. And this is 2 products or a bundle, but it would be 1 ASIN or 1 SKU. Hopefully that makes sense. I know these are poor examples. It's just what was in reach. Cool. Again, guys, we went over on the hour, but as per usual, we love to over deliver. Guys, we're here for you. Our team's here for you. If you're interested in getting started with your online Amazon business, whether you're interested in our programs, you're interested in our consulting, you're interested in working with me personally in the inner circle, which is my high-level mentorship, or you're interested in coming in as an investor where we do all the heavy lifting for you. You literally invest and we find the products, we find the suppliers, we help you create the account, we list the products, launch the products, sell the products for you, and you collect a check every single month, every 2 weeks directly to your account, and you want to partner with us. All you have to do is go to www.oneproductawaycall.com. If you're not a client or you're a client and you want to upgrade and you're scheduling your call, down below, say I'm in. That way I can congratulate you personally and we can let our team know. We only have a few slots. This isn't going to a call center overseas. You're talking to someone within my team, a part of my organization that works with me every single day when you schedule a call. So www.productawaycall.com. Remember, the only dumb question is one that does not get asked. A dollar that's not moving is a dollar that's losing. And most importantly, you're only 1 product away. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. God bless you. And most importantly, if you're not subscribed to the #1 channel on YouTube for starting, growing, and scaling your Amazon business, smash that red subscribe button right now. Click the notification bell. That way, every single week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, when we drop new content, you're notified, so you're first to market, first to dollar. I'll see you guys in the next